Well, we back. Diddy got 4 years, but with the time he already got, he's gonna do probably a little bit lesser than 2. But the way that judge was acting, the reports we were getting out of the courtroom, it sounded like they was gonna give him more than that. See, that's why it's not good. You can't be beating on women. You know, a lot of times some of these people think because they got money that they can treat people any kind of way. And that's not how it go. You can't treat people any kind of way just because you got money, especially women. You know, and Diddy said it himself that the drugs and the money and the fame kind of got to him. You know, and ain't no telling how long Diddy was on drugs. He said this is the first time he's been drug free, and no God knows how long. Probably since he was in college. You know that he went a day without alcohol. So that's why you gotta really think about it, guys. You can't be doing these women any kind of way, especially if you got money. I'm trying to get this together, especially if you got money. You can't be treating people any kind of way. But 4 years is not a long time because he got a year time served. That's 3, and he can't get a little bit of good time. He might end up doing a little less than 3, which is not bad. Give him time to really get things together. Why is this not coming on? Give him time to get things together. You know, because I mean, we've seen the tapes and hear all the stories about the freak offs and about him beating women and using this influence. Because you know, the guy a billionaire. You know, I don't know if he still is, but he was a billionaire. So, like $1,000 to him is like nothing to the average person. It doesn't take much to mess up your life, brothers. It's a lot hard. Yeah. Yep. And basically, he should be very, very thankful to God because if the other cases didn't get dropped, he'd have been looking at life in prison. So him ended up getting 3. It's not. Hold up. It's not that bad. So he get a little time to think about it and build on what he's been doing for the past year. And hopefully he gets out and he can teach the younger people and, you know, and show them how to live their life and learn from basically his mistakes. Because there's a lot of guys out here that they let money make them. You know, they lose grip on reality. I'm gonna have to turn this off and turn this back on. They lose, you know what reality really is. And you know, and we call it the high horse. You know, they get on their high horse, and then can't nobody tell them nothing because they got the money and all the power. They lose what reality really is. They think they're on top of the world. And then when you add drugs and alcohol to it, you know, it's kind of, you know, once they get inside of that lifestyle, it's hard for them to really get out of it. And like he did say, he got kind of caught up. He got caught up in the lifestyle of the rich and famous, as I say all the time on this channel. So let's see what they're saying about it right now. Let's see. Let me go over here.
by law has to take into consideration is deterrence, general deterrence. Besides specific deterrence, saying, Mr. Combs, I need to punish you so that you don't do this again. I also need to punish you so that the whole world knows, because the whole world is watching, if you do these acts, there's going to be severe consequences. And that's where a judge can kind of lean into a heavier sentence. The judge didn't do this. He started off saying, I think there needs to be a significant sentence. And I was like, uh-oh, anyone who goes to jail, you don't understand, 1 day in jail is horrible. 1 day in jail is horrible. People telling you when you can go to the bathroom, when you can eat, when you can sleep. The lights are on all the time. I mean, it's not a place that you want. I visit prison, and I can't wait to get out of there, knowing I'm going to leave. So Sean Combs and his defense team should be breathing a sigh of relief.
So he got 50 months, and in the same breath, the judge says to his victims, we hear you. Do you think he heard them? What do you think the reaction to the people who were victimized? That video is so difficult to get out of anyone's mind who has ever seen it. Did the judge hear them?
I think he did. I think if that video didn't exist, he may have gotten less. Look, the Mann Act is a crime that wasn't even prosecuted until lately.
Got 38 people in the building. Appreciate y'all for coming in.
Basically,
Hit the like button as you tune in.
Going to like a brothel or where there's
over state line
commercial.
You just not coming in. Diddy got 4 years.
Usually involves some sort of commercial aspect, meaning like paying for a service or something like that. Correct?
Yeah, so they talked about doing it with our governor, Elliot Spitzer. They talked about doing it with my former client and now very good friend Lawrence Taylor, the New York Giant player.
Already done.
When they called me about Lawrence Taylor, I said, you're going to bring a Mann Act charge because he went to New Jersey and got a prostitute? I go, you guys haven't done it in 100 years.
He owe him like 3 years. Look, there's a lot of people outside of the courtroom, guys. I'm kind of glad I left and I came back. I'm glad I left and I came back because it was a long, long time. So now I guess we're waiting on the reaction of the lawyers, defense lawyers, and the prosecutors. So let's tune in right here. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Hit the like button as you come in. And we're going to react to what's going on with Diddy.
Sentencing. Talk about that.
The judge didn't do anything wrong. That is the law. I don't agree with it. I was involved in a case where there was in this courthouse, and it was a homicide case, and he was found not guilty of the homicide, but guilty of some lesser drug charges. And the judge banged the heck out of him on the lesser drug charges because I heard the evidence about the homicide, and even though
yeah, he got like 3 years to do. He got three years to do. Probably a little less than 3, maybe around 32 months.
Look at his mother. So the judge said, I can't just look at all the good stuff and not look at all the bad stuff. And he said that. The judge said, I have to take both sides into consideration. Again, when he said
all the news that was coming out that they was getting from the inside of the courtroom, I was thinking, man, I was thinking he was gonna get close to the 11. But the judge, that's decent. He can get some help, he can get some help, for his get some good mental health help. And he'll get out, he'll probably be 59, and he can get out, and go on with his life.
Close to your children. Sometimes you ask for a facility to be close to your older mother. So they'll make that determination. They'll take his security risk to himself. He's a target. So where are they going to put him to protect Sean, not to protect the inmates from Sean? And then ultimately the Bureau of Prisons will make that decision, and he'll have a much better life than he's had the last year at the MDC. Thank you so much.
All right, so what you're listening to right there is our Fox 5 New York team's.
This is not the end of the case. Sean Combs can appeal the verdict, can appeal his conviction, and his lawyers have said they will do so. They have 14 days to file a notice of appeal with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals right here in Manhattan.
Thank you for joining us. This is AP News live stream of the Sean Diddy Combs sentencing. 4 years and 2 months is what the judge handed down. For more, go to our apnews.com website or go to we have an app, an AP News app, and if you like what you're hearing here, if you like getting news.
Tubacant, who is Diddy? Well, Diddy is a rap mogul, billionaire. He is the owner of Bad Boy Records. He discovered the rapper Biggie Smalls. Yeah, he's a rap mogul. Yeah, they say he's gonna be appealing it. That's what they were just saying. He's appealing. But I don't know how it is in New York, but down here in Texas, like it take about 3 years. And if it's the same thing in New York, he's gonna be out by the time the appeal come up. But at the same time, will Trump pardon him? Because that is also on the table. That's also on the table. Trump has, since it is a Fed case, Trump can pardon him, which they have been bringing that up. Some people think Trump is going to pardon Diddy. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all for joining. If you just now coming in, Diddy gets 4 years. But with the year he's been in there already, he's going to end up doing 3. But the thing is, you can't be flying these girls out. You can't do it. These Instagram models, and you want to fly them out to you, especially if you're a content creator. A lot of content creators like to fly out the Instagram models and the rappers. You can't do it, because if they flip on you, you're going to be in the same position as Diddy. Well, they friends, for one. They friends. They've been friends for a very, very long time. And from what I've been hearing about the pardons is that Trump charges people for the pardons, however much it is. 20 million, 30 million, and then he'll throw you a pardon. But they are friends. They've been knowing each other for a very long time. So Trump might not pardon him, but that's what a lot of people been saying. I wouldn't recommend nobody flying them out. I wouldn't recommend that. Because as we see, that's a federal charge. I know I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You'll be going to the federal prison. Leave them where they at. Because all it takes is for one of them to turn on you like they did Diddy. Well, he did do him bad, though. He was beating on them and abusing them and doing them all type of ways. That's another thing, guys. You can't be beating on women. That's not cool. okay, and complete an outpatient treatment program. I kind of figured they was gonna put that in there. He got to get some help. As we sit here and wait on the lawyers to come out. Hey, what's up to Don? Jonathan Davis, how y'all doing? Hope everybody having a great afternoon. We back for a little bit. If you just now coming in, breaking news, guys. Within 2 hours, President Trump will make an announcement that he's giving Diddy a pardon. Yeah, that would be crazy work if he did it that fast. Wes Cruz, that would be, man, that would be crazy work. Just like that, Trump pardons Diddy, and Diddy goes home tonight. Hey, it might be something going on because they did say he already had speaking engagements already booked for next week. Maybe, maybe it's something Diddy knows that we don't. Yeah, he got 4 years, Demo. But like Wes Cruz said, Donald Trump can pardon him right now. Hello from Ohio. Why would Trump do that? Well, Linda, they're friends. And plus, Diddy got money. He can get to talking on the back end and say, look, I'm going to give you $50 million, Trump. I need you to pardon me. And there it go. Because he was already trying to pay $50 million to get out on bond. So he burnt that bridge. I think so too, Eric. I think he burnt that bridge too. That's why he would have to pay a lot of money. 50 million, 100 million. Trump would do it, but you're right. He burnt that bridge. I think he did too, for how he did Trump when Trump came down that escalator the first time. Yeah, he did turn his back on Trump, knowing that they were good friends before Trump came down that escalator and told everybody he was running for president. Let's see what's going on with this is.
First Amendment. So those are the 3 arguments I expect to see on appeal. Now, that appeal is going to be heard sometime in 2026. And if the appeal is successful, the appellate court can do one of 2 things. They could vacate the conviction entirely, in which case Combs would be freed, or they could order a new trial. So those are the possibilities if an appeal is successful. Now, with respect to the pardon, the president, of course, at any time with the stroke of his pen, could free Diddy. He can pardon him outright. He can commute his sentence, which means he'll still be a convicted felon, but he won't be in custody. And we know that the president has been very liberal with his pardon.
See, that's what they're talking about right now, guys.
He's even pardoned a lot of high-profile rappers. So that's certainly a possibility and something that the president actually addressed with reporters months ago in the Oval Office.
And what we're looking at right now, you've seen several different images that we have. We have an aerial view showing folks that are outside of the courthouse. They're in protest. Some of them are there for Diddy. Others are protesting the war in Gaza. We've seen a lot of different signs, and I want to pop that up here on your screen so you can get a better view. Again, this is Skyfox flying overhead near the federal courthouse. My question for you now, Nima, is what happens after this time passes and Diddy is released? What happens then? What are the different steps that take place?
So once Diddy is released, he can be released outright. He can go into a transitional facility.
I think
Sometimes
that's Diddy's
folks will go
family.
into a halfway house. Obviously, Diddy has significant family support. He has financial means. Although one of really the strangest moments from today, and it was really a head scratcher, was when one of the defense attorneys said, Diddy is so broke that no one would change places with him. I thought once that argument was made, they lost all credibility with the judge. But normally, if someone has no job, no support, they may go into one of these transitional facilities. But someone like Combs, I don't think that will be necessary. So it's just a matter of him serving his time, and then he'll be a free man, just like everyone else. Now, of course, as a felon, there will be some restrictions on him. He will be placed on supervised release for 3 years. That's essentially a term where he has to check in with U.S. probation. He won't be able to own a firearm. There may be restrictions on him, like drug testing and so forth, potentially
and
classes.
Nima, I hate to cut you off, but it looks like we are hearing from Gloria Allred, so I do want to pop up the audio so we can listen in. But again, Nima, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us.
What's up, Sharon? How you
Of
doing?
course, thanks for having me.
Probably because of judicial economy, because the trial would have been very long. I don't know. 148 months is what the sentence was. I think the judge was very thoughtful. He didn't do the 11 years that the prosecutor wanted, and nor did he do the 14 months that the defense wanted. So Mr. Combs will be in prison for a while. He basically had a lot of good things to say, the judge did, about Mr. Combs and his contribution to the community over many years and to racial justice. But on the other hand, he has to pay the price for what he did. He could have had 10 years for each of the 2 counts of the violation of the Mann Act, which is going across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. So I think all in all, he gave the sentence that was recommended by the probation office. And so that's somewhere in between what the prosecution wanted and what the defense wanted. So it's finally over, except that there will be appeal, of course, by Mr. Combs' very large legal team. And so we'll see what happens on appeal. Yeah, the argument was by the defense that that really this was just watching sex, and so that's free speech. But the judge did not agree to that argument. It wasn't about filming. He said you can't launder an illegal act into a constitutional right, because that would otherwise be a very narrow interpretation of the Mann Act. So it was about committing a crime, because he pointed out that Mr. Combs had in fact participated and sometimes had sexual interaction with Jane and also with Cassie. So it wasn't just about watching, he actually participated in it. So I think he's got a good argument, and I don't think that the defense has a good argument on appeal. So he could have gotten 20 years, 10 years consecutively for each count. And they were very much afraid that he would retaliate against them. And so I think that they will be happy that he will be at least in prison for a number of years. I think they'll feel comforted on that. So thank you. Okay, all right.
They already talking to Peel. Shit crazy. Tell us the truth. Give him life, man. He messed up all those kids.
Obviously have very strong feelings and thoughts on this. Now that we have the...
Diddy got 25 years. No, only got 4.
Well, the judge
should have got more time.
148 months, which is essentially what the...
Yeah, they only gave him 4 years.
Recommended. So it wasn't the 11 years that the prosecution wanted, nor was it the 14 months and get out by the end of this year.
Well, really less than 4 because he already did 1.
He did.
So he'll be doing a little under 3
for Mr. Combs in reference to
that's right, Big John.
Racial justice and the community.
He'll be out in probably a little bit more than 2.
But on the other hand, it's obvious that Mr. Combs is going to have to.
That's if Donald Trump don't pardon him.
Pay the price.
We got to remember that's still on the table.
2 criminal acts. He could have had 10 years for each count in the Mann Act. That would have been 20 years.
It's a federal charge, Falcon.
Months that that he is ordered to serve. No doubt his legal team will be appealing from this sentence and from the trial.
Who is she in the case?
As soon as possible.
She is the lawyer for the women.
Has sufficient
That's who she
funds,
is.
and so he'll be able to do that. What I would like to say is many of my clients who allege they were victims of Mr. Combs were very afraid that he would get out either today or in a couple of months, and they were afraid that he would...
Of the courthouse. As we mentioned, 50 months in prison. That is the sentence for Sean Diddy Combs. Now, of course, a lot did happen in that courtroom a bit earlier.
Everybody's
on today,
acting
so if
okay,
you're not
though.
Familiar with all of this, I do want to break down
Everybody's
all
acting
of the
good.
latest
They're taking it
details
well.
here. Again, all of this information coming in here as we learned maybe about 30 minutes ago that sentence had been handed down. Now, Diddy actually wrote a federal judge last night. He proclaimed that he's a new man after realizing that he was, quote, broken to my core. He told the judge in a 4-page letter that his mind was clear of drugs and alcohol after a year in jail. And he can see how rotten he had become before his arrest in September of 2024. And we're talking about federal court, so cameras not allowed inside. Diddy convicted back in July on 2 counts of violating the Mann Act. You heard a lot of that discussion from Nima Rahmani a short time ago when he was speaking with us, but also from our Fox 5 New York team as they had that team of legal experts outside answering questions.
They gave him 4 years.
Diddy convicted in July on those 2 counts. It's a federal law that bans interstate prostitution, flying people around the country for sexual encounters, including his girlfriends.
In other words,
and
he just got a slap on the wrist.
He did face up to 20 years in prison for the 2 charges.
They could have gave
him
20.
He was convicted.
But he only got 4.
Prosecutors wanted the 55-year-old to spend 11 years in prison, while the defense had asked for no more at that point than 14 months. We also have some of these live images that are coming in as we get a little bit closer. And we did want to dip up the audio there just in case we did get any sort of reaction. You could hear really the background noise as folks were exiting that federal courthouse. But again, you're getting a close-up look here, so you can't really see all of the activity out there. As we take a live look from this angle, you can get a better look at just how many people are outside of that courthouse. Now, right now, I do want to get back to our Fox 5 New York team as they continue all of their coverage.
Yeah, he already did 1 year.
5 team coverage.
I think they should have gave him more than that. For all the stuff that he did, they should have gave him at least 7 or 8. But that lawyer he got, I think his name is Richard Steele, a real good lawyer. That's the same lawyer that Young Thug had, Richard Steele. Really good lawyer.
Was a prosecutor. Sorry, yeah. What's up, Pablo? What's up, Pablo?
Yeah, the way he did those women, he should have got way more time than that. Yep, they're traumatized.
Is that everything? Are we done? Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's like gentleman right here with the officer sitting there. Sir.
Where they're allowing reverends to speak and re-entry people to speak. Right. And, you know, I mean, how many people spoke today? 5 lawyers?
A lot spoke. They had the lawyers. I have it on my other notes, but there were like 4 or 5 of the lawyers spoke. This is after the lunch break, and we're going like, you know, one of the court officers said to me on the side, he goes, "Well, just so you know, we're prepared for another day of this on Monday." I'm like going, "Oh my gosh!" And I thought they were just
to give you an example. When we did the sentencing on Harvey Weinstein 5 years ago, the judge only allowed 1 lawyer to speak.
No, they had all.
He would only allow 1 lawyer to speak.
His legal team is 7 or 8 people.
I know.
Nicole Westmoreland spoke. Xavier Donaldson spoke about Miami. Agnifilo spoke. Brian Steele spoke. They all spoke, and then that was you know, then followed by the Reverend from Miami, who was talking about the good work that Diddy could be doing to help other young, you know, other men facing incarceration.
I will tell you, today was a great day for the judge, to the legal community, from the little network that I live in, right? Because he was thoughtful, intelligent, accommodating, empathetic to both sides, right? He said all these nice things about the women, but he also said to Sean at the end,
yeah, he should have got the 11. Yeah. Yeah, he did. The way he was doing them women. Yeah, he should have got the 11. He older than me. 55, 56 years old. Yeah, they should have gave him the 20. Yeah. The way he did them women.
Celebrating Diddy walking out of court, and I didn't think that was going to happen. And then the prosecution wanted 11 years and 3 months.
And I knew that wasn't going to happen.
And we knew that wasn't going to happen because the sentencing requirement was like 60 to 84 months.
Well, that's
so it was
what
a little bit less.
Probation said.
In the TSR, the sentencing report,
PSR,
right?
The way he did that woman, the videos they showed beating Cassie, whatever her name is, in that hotel. That's only what we seen on the video. Think about what he did to her without the video.
You know, it was so well documented. He used the word massive for the amounts of evidence. And he said the other thing that got them, that seemed to be a very big factor in him getting more time, was they said even after the prosecution brought it up, the judge brought it up as well, too.
He was beating them women, doing them all kind of ways. Come on now. He was beating them.
after the homes had been raided, after all of this had gone on, he engaged in a hotel night with Jane where he kicked down 5 doors to get to her. She was hiding for her life. And, that it just showed that he had a disregard for the entire system, which they didn't like.
We want to go back to the studio, but is there any way that he could have escaped that video? That
video, the Cassie video.
Yeah.
No. It was relevant evidence. It went right to the heart of the crime, of the abuse, of the force that was used.
Coercion.
The coercion. So yeah, no, that was not going to be his. And he paid for that. Had that video not existed, I don't even know if he would have gotten such a sentence. But I will tell you, no matter what these defense attorneys come out and say, and I know they were planning on having a celebratory dinner, they did an unbelievable job from where they were 14 months ago to where they are today.
Compared to where they are today.
On that
Thank you
note,
so much. We'll toss it back to the studio.
I just want to interject really quickly a question for Arthur Aidala there. Maybe walk us through the sentencing for our viewers. How much of that time is actually going to be served by Diddy? And then also, can Diddy's legal team appeal the judge's decision to a higher court?
Oh, you guys asking... Let me ask him those 2 questions because he doesn't have an IP. So first of all, how much of this 50 months did he actually end up serving? Because you guys have that math, special math you do.
Off the top of my head, let's say he's going to have to do 42-ish, but he's already done 14 of the 42-ish, so 42, 32. He's going to be eligible for a halfway house in less than 3 years, like 2 years and maybe 10 months or something along those lines. I anticipate him being a model prisoner, abiding by all the rules, taking advantage of every program. Look, he's a drug addict. He's admitted that. He will take drug treatment programs in there. That will help him reduce some of his jail time. So, again, as I said a moment ago, his defense team, who's looking at a client who's facing life in prison, who's going to be out before he's my age, he'll be okay.
But Arthur, what about in terms of appealing this sentence? Is that possible?
Absolutely. I'm sure they'll appeal it. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get to the White House and see if President Trump would consider commuting his sentence, lowering a little bit. But the sentence wasn't severe enough. I think he would have been in a better position to do that if the judge gave him 11 years or 12 years. But, if you're saying he'll be out in 2.5 years, that is not an enormous amount of time, especially coming out of this courthouse where people go away.
Two federal crimes.
Much longer.
So on that note, we want to toss it back to the studio so we can gather some more news. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, very fascinating conversation. We'll have to leave it there. And of course, stay with us, though, Fox 5, for continuing coverage of Diddy's sentencing. We're going to be posting any updates on our free Fox local app. More of the 5 o'clock news is after this.
All right, a big thank you there to our Fox 5 New York team as we continue to cover all of this breaking news. It has been a very busy...
Got 387 people in the building. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Comments are going a little fast now. So, I think I'm tightening it. Can't read everybody's comments no more. A lot of people comment. Appreciate y'all for coming through.
And it's down.
He will be out after appeal of Trump. Yeah, I think that's more than likely. I think that Trump will, let him out. That's what I think is going to happen. 4098, Perry. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, I think Trump gonna let him out. That's what I think. Got 4 years, Donald. If you would look at the title of the video, you would see he got 4 years. 50 months, 4 years. But he got 1 year back time, so he ended up doing about 3. Also, what you gotta understand, Donald, is that the comments are moving really, really fast. So if I miss your comment, I apologize. He got 4 years, 50 months. He'll be out in 3. That's, a lot of people are saying that Donald Trump is going to pardon him. So, I know when Trump was asked about it, he didn't take that off the table. Well, I just saw you, so I listened. I didn't know the time. You should have got way more. He should have gotten way more. I think so too, Donald. But at the same time, I think Trump gonna pardon you. People with money get less time. Yeah, that's right. We should have gotten 20. LP. Laughing. Hello, Monica. How you doing? Tracy. An inmate will be paid big money to make him disappear. Are they gonna have him on lockdown? Donald, you know he's gonna come out and do the same thing. I hope not. I pray that he changes. Tracy, he is not going to make it out. Then, you know, he still got that Tupac thing that they'll keep bringing his name up in. We got to remember that too. PPD, the guy allegedly who they say killed Tupac, has been saying that Diddy was the one that put the hit. So he still got that possibly on the back end that he got to worry about. You know what I think? I think he's going to get out after serving a little time, and then they're going to hit him with those murders. He fade out. Right, Donald? Yep. That's what I'm thinking too, because they still got the Tupac thing going on. Still got that. He's probably under federal, he's probably more than likely under federal investigation about the Tupac. Okay, let's see what this is.
Mark Agniflo's lead attorney said when he went back to the jail, they gave him a standing ovation saying, nobody beats the government and you beat the government. Today, I don't think that's the case, but I will reference Cassie's letter, for example, the victim impact statement that she submitted to the court. And she said, the outcome of this case, the acquittal of the serious charges, proved that victims are not safe, that I and victims are not safe to come forward to tell their stories. And that was largely the narrative that was coming out of the Diddy verdict, right? That he beat the government, that this is why victims don't come forward, they're not protected. Mia, who was testifying under that pseudonym, who was a former employee of his, who also testified to the abuse and the forced labor allegations, she also had her identity exposed. And so she too kind of echoed what Cassie was saying of, you know, victims come forward and they're not protected. But I think the judge was trying to correct that today. He said that he wanted to send a message to victims that we hear you and we will hold abusers accountable, and I think he did with that.
Yeah, I know none of the rappers came back them up.
In the Me Too era that we live in, how do you think that victims of abuse are going to react to the outcome of this case? will they be, dissatisfied, or do you think people will think the
You're
justice
right,
is served?
Tracy.
That's an interesting question. I think because he's going to get time served, so essentially he's looking at 3 years in prison going forward. For a lot of people, given how impactful and how
commissary, you have protection. I think they're gonna have him on lockdown.
The fact that she detailed over a decade of abuse. A lot of people felt like he was not held accountable for a lot of the things that she was saying that he did to her. But I do think that this is a lot more jail time or prison time than the defense was expecting. They were pushing for 14 months, which would be essentially time served.
Yeah, nobody
came. Doors and be home before Christmas. And
he
so
went through
I
all
do
this
think that
all
the judge
alone.
did
Of course, his family.
and at least
his family.
tell victims and tell people who thought that
None
this
of the
case
rap
was an
community,
example
none of the
of,
rappers
the Me Too movement falling short, that no,
came
he is still
close.
going to be held accountable. And this is still a significant amount of jail time for someone who has never been held accountable. He has no record, and he has gotten away with this for over a decade.
So I mean, on that note, could you tell us what you think a little bit about what this means for Sean Combs' legacy as a cultural figure, as a music mogul? Is this sentence a short enough time that he could potentially come back and rebrand himself as someone who's been rehabilitated and sort of have a public life again? Or do you think that this might mark the end of his life as an important public figure for people?
That's the question I get asked the most, because he was someone who is this larger-than-life figure that they describe in court. He came from humble beginnings and showed a lot of people of what you can do, not only in the music world and ascending there, but taking it from the studio to the boardroom and establishing himself as a mogul and reaching heights that we don't see many African Americans reach, and breaking barriers and showing other people that it's possible. And that's a legacy that the defense was harping on and reiterating today in court, saying that this is a man who showed his community what is possible, but also reached back and gave opportunities to people that don't get opportunities, particularly people of color.
Diddy 3 years.
Now, what I think has forever changed that is the release of that hotel attack video, where we witnessed with our own two eyes the brutality, how viciously he attacked Cassie, after denying all of the allegations. And I think it's really hard to come back from that. But today in court, we saw a little bit about his strategy and how he may attempt to come back from that, which is to say, I'm a broken man.
I agree with that, Mike.
I went to prison and I had to face my demons. I was a drug addict, and now I'm going to start speaking and rebrand myself as this motivational figure of, I had it all, I lost it, and now I'm coming to you humbly to teach other people to change their lives for the better and move away from things that are harming them. So I think we're going to see Diddy as rebranding as a motivational speaker. In fact, the government kind of exposed that a speaking engagement planned for Monday in case the judge did release him. Now, the defense said it was more of a teaching engagement, that he plans, he implemented a program called Free Game with Diddy, where he was teaching business skills and giving business advice to other inmates. And because of the impact of that program, he saw what he can do, and they were saying that Diddy is a connector. What he's really good at is inspiring others, uniting people, and so I think they're going to take that narrative and continue it going forward, and that may be a way he comes back. I will say one thing that I've realized throughout this whole trial is he is relentless. He was not.
That's how you know it's a lot of weirdo guys out here, bro. A lot of weirdos. A lot of weirdo guys. And there's more of them than you can imagine. A lot of these guys that have the same mindset of a Diddy.
Yeah, and so it's, he still faces dozens of civil lawsuits, right? And so my guess is that,
They actually think it's okay to abuse women and take advantage of women. There's a lot of guys that's like that Black Man 903. A lot of them. That's why if you got daughters, you got to protect your daughters. And women, you got to pay attention to these dudes. A lot of them are weirdos.
Are being
and abusive.
Legal team is going after the civil cases just as intensely as they went after this criminal case. Now, I will say that in court, his defense attorneys were saying that he doesn't have money anymore. He's not a wealthy man anymore because he has hundreds of civil cases that he is going after and paying legal teams. And so I don't know if it will have a direct impact on the civil cases, but I will say that that is what his reality is now, that he is going to see the inside of a courtroom for a very long time.
Thanks very much. We were just joined by Mona Kosar Abdi. She's a senior correspondent for Extra TV. Thanks for sharing your insights and sort of your experiences from inside the courtroom.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
All right, that was Mona Kosar Abdi. She is with Extra TV.
Waiting to see if these lawyers gonna come out and talk. Yep, got some 25. There's people that have killed people that got less than 4 years. Yep. Yeah, Alex Johnson. Yeah, he a scumbag. Trying to wait to see if these lawyers gonna come out, give us a little update. Like Anderson, people get more time for failing to pay their child support. Yeah, I know somebody that got 2 years. Well, the first time they got 6 months, and then they still didn't pay their child support. Next time they gave him a year, and then the next after that they gave him 2 years. I think he's paying his child support now. He learned his lesson, and that's day for day, no good time. When you know when you go to jail for not paying your child support, that's day for day. Well, in Texas, that's day for day. Mike Anderson. I believe he's that guy that killed that girl on the train, got charged 31 times, Democrat state, catch and release. Yeah, that guy, yep, that's what they did to that guy, they let him out. No cash bail. In Texas, they call it a PR bond. Personal recognizance. You don't pay no money, they just let you out with a promise to come to court. I know a lot of people that got out on that. I know people that's on an ankle monitor, that's out on no cash bail. Hey, what's up, Penny? How you doing? I wonder how much money was made with the bookies over his sentencing. Alex Johnson, watching from Manchester. Shout out to Manchester. Appreciate you for joining. We got 123 people in the building. Appreciate y'all for joining me. We just not joining. Diddy gets 4 years in prison. Federal prison. But the big question is, will Donald Trump pardon his old friend? And yes, if you didn't know, Donald Trump and Diddy used to be good friends. Back in the 80s and the 90s. Donald Trump was P. Diddy's. And your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, Donald Trump was their mentor in the 80s and in the 90s. And if you didn't know, Donald Trump used to be a Democrat. Yep. Donald Trump used to be a Democrat, guys. Back in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe Trump won't pardon him because like it's only 3 years. It's only 3 years. Maybe, that's not really a long time. He might not consider it. It's kind of a risk. He's going to get a lot of backlash, in my opinion, if he pardons Diddy. So it might not even be worth it. Unless Diddy say, well, hey, that $50 million I was going to pay to get bonded out, I'm going to give you the $50 million. Don't sign that pardon and let me out. Now look, guys, I need to get it there quickly.
Fox.
I represent a number of
they say with good behavior, he could be out in 2.5 years.
Civil
freak-offs or hotel nights. It's a case with real victims who have suffered real harm at the hands of the defendant. They also slammed Diddy for booking a speaking appearance in Miami next week, apparently expecting a lighter sentence. Combs also faces dozens of civil lawsuits with allegations of sexual assault and abuse over decades. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Connor, thank you so much for that report. We'll be checking in with him as well as our Fox 5 New York team. Lisa Evers should be joining us here in just about 15 or 20 minutes. So we'll have that for you here on Live Now. CB Cotton with Fox News saying that she's told Diddy will get credit for time served. So between this and good behavior, he could actually be released in as little as 2.5 years. We're going to watch as all of that does play out in the coming months and years. And of course, there is
basically had a lot of good things to say, the judge did, about Mr. Combs and his contribution to the community.
We already seen that. The judges, these lawyers are not coming out. Well, let's see, they might be coming out right now. Wait, nobody's speaking. I know he knows he's being recorded, right? Yeah, they had to hurry up and take it off of him. Well, that's it, guys. It looks like it's over. They're taking down the guardrails. No lawyers are coming out to speak. If you're just not joining, Diddy got 4 years with time served, and the time he already did, 2.5 years, he'll be free. So I think I'm ending right here, guys. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button and the notification so you will be notified when we go live. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. I hope y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend, chat. Appreciate y'all for coming to rock with me. I love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out. Y'all have a great night, chat. I'm out.